Welcome to the Art Deco in interior design and architecture. The Art Deco style originated out of Viennese reinterpretation of the Art Nouveau as a Vienna secessionist movement. This began in the 1890s in the imperial city of Vienna, which was a cultural and influential center for a large proportion of Europeans at the time. The movement wanted to secede from the traditional approaches towards any arts, finding new solutions to the technologies of rapidly growing new world of machineries and changing lifestyles. It set the foundation of use of white and gold as its primary colors defining the style and rejected the intricacy of Art Nouveau shapings for the sake of more geometrical and simplistic structuring. Art Deco attempted to conjoin all arts, as we can see sculptors and painters, metallurgists and ceramics, glass and stained glass works and workers like Gustav Klimt, creating the spaces together all along with the interior designers like Joseph Hoffman to create, in their perspective, the highest form of art. But Vienna was not the place to distribute the newly developing artistic style. It was the Parisians who adopted and reinvented its conventions to make it emerge to what we now know of Art Deco today. The early of Parisian Art Deco added varieties of colors and patterns to the previously more simplistic approach. Paris was a melting pot of arts, artists, and artistic approaches at this moment for the entire world. Art Deco artists had no shame in taking inspirations from other cultures and civilizations, as well as their materials. For example, excessive use of gold due to economical flourish of colonially based Western world. We can see inspirations from China, ancient Greece, but also rural French motifs, even already in the early forming style in 1910s from artists like Maurice Dufresne and Paul Faulot. It's been given its name for the decorative approaches of the movement artists, trying to combine not only varieties of artistic craftsmanships, but also of many cultural heritages from Africa to India to Egypt. In its full bloom, Art Deco took many diverse forms in different places. The city of Chicago is perhaps the most dominant in using black instead of white, and silver and platinum instead of gold to its palette, changing the classical color scheme of the style, by artists like the Burnham Brothers or a company Halliburton Root. America adopted Art Deco as its own child. Many known cities arose during that time to their full splendor, calling that time the Roaring Twenties. It was also the introduction of the first skyscrapers due to massive improvements in construction technologies. New ways of stone cutting and wood forming also took their toll on the look and feel of the interiors and their furnitures, giving them lush and opulent characters. Unfortunately, the following decade saw an economical decline of many societies, which resulted in many limitations of the full Art Deco blossom in a time called the Great Depression. It's also the time when Art Deco and modernism started to intertwine.
Modernist-style architecture emerged during the early 20th century as a result of global events and cultural shifts such as industrialization, urbanization, and the world wars. There are five key principles of modernism in architecture, including function over ornament, the use of new materials such as steel, concrete, and glass, open plans, flat roofs and clean lines, and mass production. The Industrial Revolution was a key influence on modernist architecture, with the production of steel, reinforced concrete, and glass allowing for more structural possibilities. The World Wars One and Two highlighted the need for efficient, quickly built, and affordable housing in response to the mass destruction and housing shortages that occurred. Urbanization meant that new towns and zoning models emerged, emphasizing order, hygiene, and green space. There were several art, design, and philosophical movements that impacted modernist architecture, such as Bauhaus, De Stijl, Constructivism, Futurism, Cubism, Philosophical Foundations, and International Style. Influences and global events that led to modernist architecture, in terms of the perspectives towards them, can be categorized into 4 categories. These are social, indigenous, technological, and economic. Social includes the world wars, civil rights, and social movements. Indigenous includes indigenization of modernization. Technological includes new materials, prefabrication, and standardization, as well as the machine aesthetic. Economic includes cost efficiency after the Depression and World Wars, corporate modernism, and the crisis of modernism. 4 key figures and their examples in modernist architecture include Le Corbusier, Walter Gropius, Mies van der Rohe, and Alvar Aalto. Corbusier was a key figure in modernist architecture. He was a Swiss-French architectural designer, painter, urban planner, and writer. The creator of the Villa Savoy, he developed the 5 points of architecture, which were pilotis, meaning supports, free floor plan, free facade, horizontal windows, and a roof garden. Gropius was another key figure of modernist architecture. He created the Bauhaus building, which was a school that promoted unity between art, craft, and technology. Alvar Aalto and his creation, the Pai Mio Sanatorium, is an example of him blending modernism with local materials and his sensitivity to nature. He adapted modern principles to local culture, climate, and materials. Van der Rohe is the creator of the Barcelona Pavilion. He was known for minimalism and the use of glass and steel. He treated space as universal and open rather than enclosed and decorative.
Comparing both Art Deco and modernism, they are on extreme ends of a spectrum with a few overlaps. While both came up during the early 20s, Art Deco sits on the expressive, glamorous, and maximalist end, while modernism embraces minimalism and incorporates more functionality over bright and bold appeal. Art Deco's style consists of rich and grand elements. This is shown through colors such as gold, white, and silver, whereas modernism is mostly defined by less bold colors such as grey and white together, and usually more natural colors such as beige. Modernism's general form seeks to focus on practicality and simplicity through open interiors, flat roofing, and clean, streamlined forms. Modernism was known to use more of a blend of dull materials such as grey stone, concrete, and regular glass compared to Art Deco, highlighting more lavish and flashy materials such as stained glass, marble, and coloured ceramics. Though Art Deco and modernism were both rising in the 1920s, they were both rising due to different distinct factors. Art Deco's rise was due to the Roaring Twenties, a time where flaunting flourish lifestyles was popular, leading to rich interiors in buildings and homes in which people lived in. Modernism, on the other hand, was shaped by the chaos occurring simultaneously during the 20s, such as industrialization, urbanization, destruction, and the aftermath of World War I, focusing also on being cost-efficient. While Art Deco often reflected the tastes and luxury of the rich and elite people, modernism was more focused on functional design for everyday people. Art Deco was sought to integrate art, magnificence, and culture into immersive experiences. The Bauhaus, De Stijl, and Constructivism movements, being considered modernist, focused on stripping interiors to their bare essentials. Regardless of the differences in style, their overlap considers how Art Deco was starting to simplify during the Great Depression period, around 1929 to mid-1930s, and in certain contexts, modernism was starting to be more commonly adopted, highlighting the slow shift in priorities between the 1920s to the 1930s. Both Art Deco and modernism interiors and furnishings showcase how design is an embodiment of history.